Hello, welcome guys. Today we're going to practice our Sass and JS skills by doing these hover cards. Okay, so let's get started.
Get riggedy wrecked, son!
Alright guys, let's just shrink this window a little bit for future reference. As you can see, I have my VS Code already open. And before we start, I need you to install this extension called Live Server if you didn't have it yet. So let's get started by typing exclamation mark, hit enter, then Rick and Morty title over there. Let's remove this meta tag that's for Internet Explorer. Let's give it a website icon. So this is going to be the JavaScript logo. Let's remove this type attribute, this shortcut keyword, and go live server. Should open a new tab for us. Let's see. There you go. Now inside of the body we have our section with the class of card, then a header with the class of card _head. Inside of it, image. Beneath that, about. Inside of it, an about if, and inside of that an image with the class of about _logo. This should be the React logo. So React logo, and there you go. Of course the image looks gigantic, so let's mess around with the source attribute there. Now another div beneath that image, about content, two paragraph tag right here. The first text Rick and Mori, the second text interdimensional travelers. All right, that's it for the header. Now another div, info h2 with the class of card title. I have the title over here, so let's save us some time. It's gonna copy paste the title of that episode as well of the paragraph tag with the class of card _description. Right, finally the footer with the class of foot, then a span with the class of card link. Read more. All right, now the second and the last card are pretty much the same. The only difference is inside of this section, the title and the description. So to save us some time, I'm gonna paste what I have right here, and hold on. Okay, paste and mess around with the source attribute right here, and where are you? Right here as well. Right, that's it for now for our HTML. Let's move on with the SCSS. Now SCSS or Sass CSS, you need to just install this extension that is called Live Sass Compiler. After you do that, you will be able to see this little button that says Watch Sass. So when you click on that, it will automatically generate a normal CSS file for us. So first, let's go and link that file. So we will say / of course on the Sass folder, and then style.css. Alright, and then this extension will provide us to, or will do for us, while we are writing normal Sass code, it will compile it into normal CSS code, like this, like it says. Alright, so having said that, let's go and let's import first of all our font family for Google Fonts. Let's copy, paste. Now let's talk about variables. In order to create a variable on Sass, you just need to type $, and whatever the name you want to put to that variable. Of course I have my variable right here, 4 of them, 3 colors and 1 background color over there, so to save us some time. Now Mixins. Mixins allows you to define styles that can be reused throughout your style sheet. In order to create a mixin, you just need to type mixin, hit enter, and give it the name whatever you want. In this case, flex config. You can use parentheses or you can leave it, but I'm not going to use it because we are not going to use some parameters. Okay, and so we will say flex, not flex, display flex, align items discern, then justify content space around. All right, now let's go and target the body, and we don't need that anymore. Let's go right here. So the body has a default margin, so let's just remove that. Let's give it a min height of 100 VH and a width of 100%. My god, where are you? Width 100%. Then color of 2 and 2. Then a background of N3, so $sign N3. Then where else? Yes, the phone family, open sans as backup sans serif. Then we're going to call our mixin. So add include flex config, no parentheses, no need. You can leave it if you want, but I'm just gonna delete those parentheses. And I want this to make it responsive. So flex wrap, and that should do it. Yeah, great. Scroll down, let's move on. Talk about the car, position of relative, a width of 350 pixels, a max height of 487 pixels, then background number 1, then a box shadow. I have it right here, the box shadow. Just need to copy, paste. Then I need a margin for each car, 2 rem, 1 rem, then an overflow of hidden for that car. Then I need to use nesting. Sass allows us to do nesting, like for example, we have our normal HTML tag right here, and inside of the element we have another one. So pretty much the same idea. If I had the car selector, I'm gonna call the header by calling, of course, the selector head. If I give it a background color of, I don't know, this one, it works. But furthermore, Sass allows us to do this symbol. This symbol is ampersand, and ampersand stands for the parent selector here. And the direct father of parent selector, in this case, is going to be card. So if I switch this part to the ampersand sign, should be still working. Should work, and it still is working. Now let's give it a position of relative and the padding top of 70%. Yep. Okay, that's our head. Let's move on and talk about our background image, which is this div. Back, and we will say, of course, ampersand image. Let's give it a position of absolute. Now these 4 properties, top, left, bottom, right, with the value of 0 means that the image will take full width and height of the parent content, which in this case is gonna be the header. Okay, so since we're working with 3 images, let's call those images, and we're going to use pseudo CSS selectors. So first child, and want to target the image, and want to give it a background URL // image. The first one, no repeat, center /cover, and great. Now pretty much the same idea with the second one's body, car, but nth child, number 2, car, and underscore image, and then the same thing right here, just with a different image. It's gonna be number 2, and for the last one, it's gonna be only number 3. So alt right here, number 3, and great. Now the bluish background gradient over there, we're gonna use another CSS selector here, and nesting. So ampersand, the direct father in this case, is gonna be this double underscore image. So after content, empty string, position and absolute, I want it to take full width and height. So same here, so just copy, paste. Now the background color should be the blue gradient, but initially with the opacity of 0.5. Okay, and there you go. If I remove this, you will be able to see what happened. There you go. No, comment that. back. Yeah, great. That's it for our image. Let's move on with the car and the double underscore about. So car, sorry, ampersand, double underscore about. We will start with the position in absolute, left 0, and bottom 0. Then let's give it a padding of 2 em. Let's give it a color of white one, and that's it for the about, just for now. Now let's talk about the info. So info, let's give it a position of relative, then a padding of 1, 2, and 3 in that order, then the mean height of 177 pixels, 77 pixels, yep, and that's it. Let's move on with our paragraph tag with the class description. This one, this is pretty amusing because it's gonna have the ellipsis mode. So let's go with the script, cursor of pointer. I mean this one, I have my text. If I hover, it shows the whole text, and so on and so on. Okay, that's what I want. So let's go back. So cursor pointer display. This is a WebKit box. Then we're gonna call, of course, the WebKit box orient. This is gonna be vertical, of course. Then WebKit line clamp. It's gonna be number 3. Then line clamp with the value 3 lines. Please show me only 3 lines. Yes, this is our ellipsis, but we will need the overflow hidden, and there you go, only 3 lines, 3 lines, and 3 lines. Okay, now in order to do that hover effect, we just need to do nesting, and again the parent selector ampersand. My god, ampersand. So hover, and we're gonna display this paragraph as a block element when we hover that part. So hover, and hover. Great. Now moving on, our footer. So foot, we will say this position in absolute, left 2 em, bottom 1.5 em, then a cursor of pointer. Great. Okay, awesome. All right, we are forgetting this part, which is the about. So outside of everything, so we're gonna go call the about, we're gonna call our mixin flex config, and then we're gonna call the logo. So logo with a width of 30 pixels. Then of course you're not able to see that because we need to get rid of those X. So by and where are you? By. So React logo, 3 of them. Great. Okay, let's go back. The next part was the content. Margin left 1 rem or em, sorry. And we're gonna target each paragraph tag with no margin, but with the text shadow that I have here. Just a copy, paste, and that's it for now for our Sass file. We need to move on with our main JS or JavaScript. So let's target that first. Script source / main.js. Okay. So what do we want exactly inside of our JavaScript? JavaScript is gonna control the hover effects, of course. And I meant the image turns bigger, the about section goes up, the info of course goes up a little bit, and the text color turns white right here, and the footer text white, and of course the background image turns bluish. So remember when we set the background, the blue gradient for that 5 opacity, we're gonna switch that to number 1. Okay, so let's get started by grabbing those elements. So const, const cards, many of them, document that query selector, all of them, that returns a not list. So card, card, and we're gonna loop through them. So for each cards, every single card should have event handlers. In this case, the first one on mouse enter should be equal to my callback function. Where are you? Console.log should be enter. And for the second one, it's pretty much the same. Just a copy, paste, alt, and then they should say leaf. On mouse enter, on mouse leaf. So if I go back, inspect the page, you should be able to see those messages. Enter leaf, enter leaf, enter leaf, and enter leaf. Great, JavaScript is working. Shrink that again, and we need to start with our on mouse enter, which stands for, in this case, for our hover effect. Let me get started with the image. So let's call that element. So background image should be equal to car.querySelector car_image. Okay, and I told you that the JavaScript is going to control those effects, so we will say background image that style that transform should be equal to backticks and scale, because we want to make our image bigger. However, I don't want to put a number, hardcode a number. I'm gonna use a variable here. So $, color bracers, gonna call it image scale. And I know I haven't created that yet, but I'm gonna do this right now. Image scale should be equals to what? Image scale should be a number, of course. In order for this line of code to work, it should be a number. Naturally, we will think that, yeah, the initial value of our scale of our image size is going to be 1. But since we want to make our image bigger, we will add something. And that something is going to be a function that should return a number as well. And I call it returned value. In this case, this function will have 3 parameters. First of all, the method factor, factor, and then the element head, and then the element info. Of course, we haven't called those elements yet, so we will do it right now first. So const head should be equal to car.querySelector car_head. The same goes for info, so just gonna copy, paste, alt 1 2 3 4 info. Okay, and this return value should return a number, and I want to get access to the height of these 2 elements. But how exactly are we going to get that? Well, let me introduce you, if you didn't know about this function yet, the method getBoundingClientRect. This method returns a DOM-rep object with 8 properties. So in order for you to see what I'm talking about, let's just console.log the card, for example, and I want that object. So if I go back, if I inspect, go to the console, and I have I got the error because I haven't created that function yet. But I have my object right here with 8 properties, and I told you that I need only the height. Since we are working with objects and I want to get access to the height, we just need to use the dot notation. So close, shrink, and of course create that function. So function, this should be return value. First of all, the method. In here, I'm going to use restParams. So restParams. This restParams allows you to use many of arguments if you would like. So this function understands that the first argument is going to be the method, and the rest of them should be, the restParams. How many of arguments would you like to give it to that function? That's how restParams help us to deal with that. But this restParams returns an array of the elements that we are passing. In this particular case, it's going to be the head and the info. So having said that, I want my height. So we will say let h1 should be equals to restParams. I want to get access to the first element, of course, and yes, the method getBoundingClientRect and dot. Remember, this returns an object, so get access to that property. We're gonna use the dot notation. Hi. The same goes with the second element here, so copy, paste. This should be number 2. This should be the second element, and here I'm going to use the if statement and going to say if method should be equals to factor. This should return the relationship between those heights, h2 over h1. Otherwise, do not do anything. So just return the function. So let's reboot. Yep, no spelling mistakes. And well, there you go. Of course, it's not as we expect it to be because we need to go back to our style. We need to target this part. Where are you? Right here. JS property. We want to say because we need a powerful property over there that is called transform origin. So transform origin should be equals to top answer. Now if I go back, no need, it's already done that for us. So pop, full size, and full size. Okay, this is pretty powerful. All right, let's move on. So that's it for our first movement. Watch the image, make it bigger. Now let's talk about what was the next step. I think it was the info. Yeah, we need to move the info a little bit up. So in this case, this info should be moving up. So we will say, we already have the info. So info dot, of course, style dot transform. Transform should be equals to backticks because we're going to use variable translate y. Okay, do not forget pixels, $sign, color braces, and in this case I'm gonna call it foot height because I want to get the height of the fur. And let's const foot height should be equals to the function return value. The first one is going to be the method. I just want to get the height, and the second one is going to be the element foot. Of course, we haven't called that element yet, so let's do that now. So const foot should be equals to car that query selector car double underscore foot. Okay, so we have our foot. However, since we want the body and this information moves up, we need to multiply this by a -1, to get the others up. Okay, makes sense? Great. All right, going back to our function. Of course, this will give us an error because on our restParams, 1 second. Yeah, we have this error. Cannot read properties of undefined on getBoundingClientRect. Of course, because we only send one parameter. So this means that this h2 doesn't exist, which makes our function crash. In order to solve that, we are going to use a ternary operator, which is a conditional, and we will work with the restParams, which is an array, and we will say to fix that if the restParams that length is more than 1. Yeah. What I want, what is it? I want this. I want the h2 should be equal to this value. Otherwise, semicolon, sorry, just colon, h2 should be equals to null. Okay. So just to recap, ternary operator means, in order to use the ternary operator, just condition if it's true, otherwise if it's false. That's what we are using right here. If my array, the total elements of my array is more than 1, I want to use this, otherwise use null. Since in this case it's not more than 1, it's just 1, h2 should be equals to null. And here I'm gonna use an else statement. So else going to return just the h1. So recap, I have my info element, which is the title, and yeah, you already saw that it moved a little bit up. How much exactly? Well, the height of the footer, which I think it was 22 pixels, but doesn't matter, just moving up. Okay, great. Now let's move on and talk about the about, which is this part. This should be moving really up at the top of the card. Okay, so we need to target that element. I think we already have it, so no, we need to call it first. So const about should be equals to card dot query selector card double underscore about, because it's this div right here. For example, this one. Okay, this entire div should be moving up, so that's where we're calling this. So since we already have that, we will need to say only about, and pretty much it's gonna be the same. So just gonna copy, paste, and instead of full height, it's gonna call about distance. Hit enter. Const about distance should be equals to, again, my function. In this case, the first method should be subs for subtraction, and then I'm gonna have the head element and the about element itself. Once again, I want those heights, and this is gonna still working. However, we just need to type one more conditional. So else if what, my method should be equals to subs for subtraction, and you guessed it, this should return a difference. Return a difference between my h2 and h1. Right? That's it for this function. This function now is complete. Let's scroll down a little bit, and this should be working by now. Yep, no spelling mistakes. Yeah, let's see. Oh, it already work. Sorry, right here. Refresh, and then boom. Okay, now we are missing two more things, the bluish background and the white color. In order to do that, we just need to, or I'm going to use a class. I'm gonna call it hover class. So when my car is hover, I want to target, of course, the car, and I want to give it a class. So add the hover class. This hover class will deal with the white color text and the bluish background. Okay, this hover class will deal with that. But since this class doesn't exist yet, that means that we need to go back inside of our style.scss and we need to create that class. So if we go back, let's search where exactly we need to target. Yeah, the card. Yes, naturally. So we have the card right here, and we need to say, once again, father selector, because ampersand means that car. If the car has the class of, hover, I wanted to give, or to change the color to white color. Where are you? White color. And that should do it. If I hover the card, white color. Great. Now the second element is to target the bluish, the thing, you know, to make this opacity number 1. So yes, just beneath that, naturally, beneath this, we will say the same. If the car is, it has the class of hover, it has the class of hover, I want to target what exactly? Yes, my image. I want to start to target my image, and then again nesting to the pseudo selector after, because what I want to change the opacity to number 1. So if I hover the card, there you go, same result. So that's good for now. We just need to move on with the slightly smooth transition, and in order to do that we need to create a new mixin. I already have it right here, and this mixin is gonna have parentheses because we're going to use a parameter. So if I scroll up, really up, this is the second mixin that we need. I call it transition config because I want to make those changes smoothly and not like a snap. Okay, so in order to do that we need to call those transitions where the changes are met. So the first thing, okay, the first is the card. So we will say include transition config, and I want to change the color because that's what is changing, the color. So refresh, and then you see a little delay over there. Great. Now the second thing is the background image. So where are you? Right here. So we're just gonna copy what I have right here because this is the next thing that is changing, and here is gonna be the transform property. So hover, there you go. Great. What else is changing? Let's just scroll down. Of course, the after. So here, opacity is changing. So let me just make these two together to make sense. So refresh, go back again, opacity has changed. Great, but smoothly. Now if I go with the about section, it's gonna be pretty much the same. What is changing? Exactly the transform. So transform, because the about section is going really up, so smoothly. Great. Now we talking about the info. It's pretty much really the same. So just copy, paste, that should do it. And hold on, there you go. Okay, now I think I'm forgetting something. Nope. All right, that's it for now because we need to work with our own mouse leaf event. This is gonna be easier because we just need to remove everything that we did so far. So first of all, let's just copy this because when the mouse is leaving the car, I want to remove that class. What else do I want to remove or restart? Well, our background image should have the style transform with the value of none. You know, restarting everything. So if I try that again, 1, 2, because only the hover class is removing and the background image is going back to its initial position or values. So the same is gonna be for our about and our info. So just gonna paste. This is gonna be copy info. This is gonna be the about, copy about. I think that should do it. Let's refresh, and then 1 and 2, 1 and 2, almost the same. I could say that the video has ended, but I have one more last thing to do, which is a new mixin that I call no delay. So just gonna copy, I'm gonna paste this new mixin, just gonna tap because these two are new. No delay is just for override the no delay. For example, if I go with the final product here, if I hover, this triggers right away the no delay. Okay, as you can see, there is a delay over there, but if I move the mouse outside of the car, it triggers every effect right away, no delay. However, here there is a little delay. You see, a little delay if I just left the mouse. I mean, if I move the mouse outside of the car, delay. So what that no delay mixin include in several selectors. So let me just start with, yep, the color, no delay. Of course, every single change that we made, we need that no delay. So here, include no delay, comma. So that was for the color, no delay, no delay. Great. Just gonna copy because we're gonna paste in several parts. So that was the first part. Now the second one is gonna be, yeah, right here. When the car has a class of hover, want to target image, so no delay when the mouse leaves the card, and no delay right here. Where else? Yeah, the about section. Where is it? We will say if the car, where is it? The car has a class of hover. I want to target. Oh my God, the about ampersand. Where is it? About, and no delay. The same is gonna go for info. So just gonna copy, paste, and this is gonna be pop info, no delay. So one, no delay, no delay, and that was our info. And I think that's pretty much it. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you found this video useful in any way, please leave a like and a comment below if you like it. Subscribe to the channel for more. See you on the next one.